Hello and welcome to another one of my vlogs. You joined me this morning in Carrollton, about 10k into my ride. It's sunny, there's blue sky around and there's not too much wind. So I thought we might take a trip up to the mining village of South Durham. So with that said, I'll get myself back on the road and I'll see you again in Sedgefield. So here we are on the outskirts of Sedgefield, just making our way towards Fishburn. We'll soon have a climb into the village, but let's see what we can see before we get there. And here's the first of our memorials to the mining times. It's the winding wheel from the top of the pit at Ferry Hill, and around it you might see that there's bricks. Each of these is inscribed with the name of someone who was a miner or worked in the coke works or somewhere near here anyway. For those of you that have watched all my vlogs, you'll remember this memorial from the vlog called Remembering. It's a millennium memorial to the miners who worked in Fishburn Colliery. And as you might see as I get closer, it does have a miner working in the shadows. Our next port of call will be Tordon Village. It is possible to go straight up the hill to this, but today it's quite busy. So I'm going to take the dog leg. It's quieter and there's better views over the Tees Valley. So this is the first part of the dog leg, up the road towards Coxhill. Of the dog leg, we make our turn to go up to Tordon Village. And once past the Z bend ahead, the hill becomes almost constant gradient, ideal for anybody who wants to do some high intensity interval training. From the top of the hill I can get a good view right across the Tees Valley, even out as far as the sea. I can see the cliffs at Saltburn in the distance. This is Tordon Village, and it's atypical for a mining village with houses and front gardens, but from what I can find out, there never was a pit here. The mining villages were all to the north, and that's where we're going next. This is the winding wheel at Tordon Station. You should be aware there's a lot of Tordons around here. We passed through Tordon Village, Tordon Colliery, and we're now at Tordon Station. There's also a Tordon Grange. However, Tordon Station is sometimes referred to as Death Hill. Now I've tried to find out why it's called Death Hill, but no one seems to know. Can't find it in any books. And I talked to two elderly people at the bus stop as I came through, but one thinks it's because it was very noisy in the pit and caused people to go deaf, and the other thinks it might be because when anybody needed help in other pits, Trimdon Station Pit wouldn't help. Don't know if either of those are true. It would be interesting to find out why it was called Death Hill. It's a beautiful day for cycling along these quiet country roads. Nice blue sky, just warm enough, and a breeze to keep us cool. This is Station Town, and now we're in Windgate. Much more typical of a mining village. Again, terraced houses, doors straight out onto the street. But even here, the new housing is starting to get built. Lots of little boxes now. I wonder how many people used to live in each of these houses. Bet the families were quite big then. And everybody hoping for sons in order to go down the pit and earn the keep. And here we are at the Windgate Memorial to the colliery. A bit more ornate than the others that we've seen so far. And it does have a little plaque adjacent to it, which tells us something about the colliery. There you go. Opened in 1839 and employed over 1,400 people. What the heck did they do with all of those when they shut the pit? How did they become employed? High unemployment up here a lot of the time, still is in fact. And now we've left Windgate, we're making our way out to the mining village of Whitley Hill. The mining village of Whitley Hill. And now we've arrived at the Whitley Hill Memorial. A double wheel this time. They all have slightly different ways of putting a pit wheel up to represent the pit. Again, 1869 when it was opened. And here we are in the centre of Whitley Hill village. Terraced housing, doors onto the street, and several of them have been changed into shops over time. And here's the memorial in Enthunly. Not just a memorial to the pit, as I showed you here, but it's also a memorial to one of their sons who obtained the VC. There's a bit more information on the notice board. As you can see, the village has been developed quite a bit from the mining village originally, but there's still some of the old village left. Well, we've just had a busy bit on an A road there, now onto quieter roads again as we make our way along to Keelan, to the next memorial that I'm going to show you, which is totally different to what you've seen so far. Now we're in the little hamlet of Town Kilo. Not very many houses here, but it looks quite idyllic. Then downhill into the village of Kilo itself. I'll be turning right at this junction here to go along to the memorial. Nothing coming, off we go. And here we are at the Kilo Memorial. The stone monoliths are representing the trips onto the mine. The metal arch is the main entrance, and above it you can probably see 3 miners' lamps. And this is the view of the memorial as we leave. I've put you back on the handlebars now because there's a steep climb coming up to Quarrington Hill. So here we are, just starting the climb up to Quarrington Hill. You can probably see it's flat at the moment, but it does tend to wind itself upwards. There we are, at the junction, turning left. And here at Quarrington Hill is a totally different take on a memorial. A representation of a pit shaft. And some explanations of what's going on in different places. And now, as we leave Quarrington Hill, we're making our way mainly downhill to Coxhill, where we'll visit the next memorial. And now it's down into the village of Coxhill. This is the winding wheel from the Coxhill pit, which has been fashioned into the ground. But unfortunately there is no plaque to tell me when the pit was opened or closed. Carnforth is another village that looks slightly atypical for a mining village. I don't know if there was ever a pit here or not. Can't find anything that tells me, and I can't find any memorial to the pit. So I think at the moment I'll have to assume there wasn't one. Maybe Carnforth was built to accommodate the workers from the quarry just to the south of it. And now we're on our way to first Ferry Hill station and then Ferry Hill itself. And here we come to the roundabout. If we turn left we would go into Ferry station properly, but straight ahead is the hill up to Ferry Hill. Quite steep climb to begin with, and you might be able to see the memorial to the pioneers at the side. And flattens off in the middle. Note the typical miners' houses both sides of the road. And then it steepens up again for the top part of the hill, which is into wind. And here's the Ferry Hill Memorial. You might just be able to see the miner and his horse at the top, down the pit. And here's another representation of a young boy. Down the pit, pony and trap. Well, this is the last of our pit villages that I'm visiting today. If you've followed in my tracks, then you've done about 40 miles from Billingham, and in the town centre here there are chippies, butchers, bakers, Greggs, so you can get something to eat here if you'd like. However, we haven't stopped climbing yet, just got to go up to Kirk Marrington before turning back towards Billingham. And look at that view across the Tees Valley. Absolutely stunning. And on the other side, absolutely brilliant. Blue sky, light winds, and just such a stunning view. Now we're approaching Kirk Marrington, and you can see the spire of the church. And here we have Kirk Marrington Church. Absolutely beautiful old church. I wonder what its history is. I'll have to look it up. Was it built by public subscription? Or was it something that the local lord of the manor paid for and built for his workers? And as we leave Kirk Marrington, you can see a good view across the Tees Valley ahead. Unfortunately a bit of mist covering the hills. And now it's a nice long downhill all the way to the village of Chilton. We arrive at the other end of Ferry Hill station and we'll be turning right to make our way back towards Stockton and Billingham. We've now come to the worst part of this ride, and that is joining the A689 to cross the A1 on the roundabout, and then we want to be in the right hand lane as we come off the roundabout because we're turning right fairly quickly. But if this is busy, this roundabout, and people coming off the A1, it can be a bit tricky getting across to the right hand lane. Today it was easy for us. Now we're back in the Tees Valley. The villages are more countrified from the economy being based on rural or farming activities. Now you can see much more space, cottages, houses, all with front gardens. I'm currently sitting here in the village of Marrington, back in the Tees Valley. It's been a great day today. The weather's been fantastic and the sights along the way have been great. A few thoughts about today. Why are pit villages always at the top of hills? Pit villages might not be as lovely and quaint as the ones on the south side of the river, which are mainly agricultural, but they do have their own charm to someone like me who was born in an industrial town. They haven't got much imagination when it comes to putting up memorials to the pits. Most of them are just the pit head wheels. But those at Kilo, Quarrington Hill and Fishburn certainly were different and interesting to look at. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video today and that it's given you a flavour for what the mining villages are like in the south end of Durham. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again in my next vlog. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and press the bell to get notifications of my next vlogs. Until next time, bye for now, stay safe.